Beautiful blessings and love, y'all. Um, it's a beautiful blessing that so many of us realize that God does exist at one point or another in our lives. Whether we just knew it as a child, whether we went through a life changing experience, life or death situation, and we realize that God is there, that there is something there. But it's so funny how so many of us acknowledge God is there, but we still push God aside. And we say we'll get to that later in life. We'll make our peace with that later in life. First, let's focus on our career. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on anything. Right now, people focus on elections, focus on this. We all focus on everything else in the world, but we always say we'll focus on God afterwards. The thing is, as we realize, especially this year, um, only God knows what could happen. We may not have the peace that we have today, we may not have that tomorrow. And for that reason, that's why we should, before everything else, just focus on God instead of later on in life, because the same thing can happen right now. So we have to focus on God. The more we focus on God right now, for one, we could actually fix the problems within ourselves. The more we look for God, we achieve peace in this world. That's why people look for God in the long run, because they say, okay, we did all this stuff now. Finding God is the cherry on top of the piece. Basically, the peace that we're looking for through God is like the cherry on top of a fixed or completed world. Sort of, I guess, in our eyes. But you can't have a completed world without a righteous foundation, a holy foundation, the godly foundation. So we actually have to first build our relationship with God, look for God right now, find God, and after that, then go look for everything else in the world. Now, if you look for everything else in the world, we'll see what's wrong in the world, from racism to injustice to problems of stealing resources, everything else that's wrong in the world. Once we find God and look into the world, we'll see everything that's wrong with it, and we will follow everything that God has taught us, and we'll do something righteous. Look for God first. We saw how during this pandemic, churches were closed for a while. Don't think that God just remember that God, there's nothing between you and God. It's you and God. That's it. You're supposed to have a relationship with God, with Jesus, actually. That's the only thing truly between us and God, is how I learned from myself in this world. Not a building, not anybody else in this world, especially nobody else in this world. Only Jesus. Trust me. I've seen many things in this world. And I promise you, actually, even me myself, about a month ago, got into a car accident. Somebody ran a red light and hit me. I had that same connection with God I had when I was getting jumped by 30 people when I was 14. I had that same connection where I realized how my life was on the line. And I once again surrendered to God. And God pulled me through. This time when God pulled me through, I got the instant reminder that my work's not done yet. I still have a lot to do. One of the things I started in 2013, We Love You, God Bless. I started specifically to bring everything that I learned from God to the world. From all the faith that I learned from God, the peace I learned from God, the Spirit. I found the Holy Spirit, and I want to share that with the world. And as I wanted to share the Holy Spirit, I saw everything that was wrong with the world, from hunger to lack of resources to the evil within people. And for example, look at looting and everything, and the protests and everything that's been going on, even how the police are reacting. There's so many different, even how politicians are reacting. There's so many different things in the world right now which is not righteous, not of the spirit. Everything has to be of the spirit, because if it's not of the spirit, the fruits of the spirit, if it's not of that, which is just like Jesus, which is just like the innocence within a child, if it's not of that, then there's something else behind it, something dark behind it. And you'll see that there's a lot of dark in this world. The foundation of this world was dark. And same way how there's racism, sexism, wars, genocide, rebellions even. All those different things stem from something dark in this world. So I said the foundations of this world was dark. We all know about Satan, right? We all know about Satan was one of the angels that were kicked out of heaven, came down here. They're the fallen angels. Stop thinking that they disappeared when they fell. Remember, they're still here. Remember, they're still here, and they've been here. They've been pulling the strings. For goodness sakes, they was some of the spiritual principalities who were fueling these people who actually killed Jesus 2,000 years ago. The foundations of this world have been dark and wrong. We're still fighting the same fight. As they said, fight the good fight of faith. And when you're dealing with demons, you can have 100,000 guns, bombs, nuclear warheads, whatever you want to. It won't kill them. The only thing that can fight a demon is the Spirit. Specifically, the Holy Spirit. The Spirit that all of us were born with, that pure Spirit. The same Spirit that we were born with in the Garden of Eden. And the way how we get reminded of that Spirit, and we get a chance to follow that Spirit, is through the Messiah, Jesus Christ. I've been following Jesus for enough years now. As I said, I've seen some pretty crazy things. Crazy things. But they're beautiful things. And everything will be beautiful and blessed. And a lot of people's lives can be in a lot of different ways right now. Trust me, my life right now is up and down as well. That's life, right? We're fighting the good fight of faith because there's a spiritual war going on that we don't see, and we're halfway casualties. We're in the mix. We're pawns. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities in heavenly places. As they said, I guess that's place that we know is outer space. That could be a place where a lot of those certain principalities are floating around and controlling things. Wonder why there's only a few companies in the world that actually have access to outer space. But that's another topic. But have a beautiful and blessed day, y'all. Remember, follow the Spirit and find God now, today, as soon as possible. Trust me, the more you find God, your job, your family, your life itself, the peace within you, everything will be restored. Because sometimes we cry, sometimes we break down, sometimes we can't sleep at night, and sometimes we don't know what it is. You can have all the money in the world and stuff, but for some reason you don't got that peace. You can have everything right in the world, and still you'll lack a certain peace. And that's when the only solution is to find God. How about you find God first, then build everything from a good foundation, a holy foundation. God bless. Have a beautiful, blessed day. We love you. God bless. Peace.